You know who it is, and you know what time it is. Time to piss off some feminists, trad cucks, and whoever don't want to know the truth. Oh well, let's get started. What is going on, gents? It's R.P.M. here, reporting from Mobile Command. To all of my red pill and MGTOW brothers out there, particularly if you are in a blue city or a blue state, if what was just announced out here in California goes into effect in your city or your state, make sure you are prepared because things will really go off the rails. Just saying. And I have a sneaking suspicion that hockey mask time will really kick off. But with that being said, this article / announcement was published on the 16th of November. However, before I go into this, I have to quote Benjamin Franklin. Those who would give up liberty for security deserve neither. And for the people who live in blue cities and states, this statement could not be the furthest thing from the truth. California considering statewide curfew amid Charlie 19 surge, Governor Newsom says. Oh, talk about creating the perfect scenario for more hockey masks to get put on. Just saying. Governor Gavin Newsom said Monday that his administration is considering a statewide curfew amid a surge in Charlie 19 cases. Daily Charlie 19 cases have doubled in California over the last 10 days, forcing the governor's office to pull a quote-unquote emergency brake, Newsom said at a press conference detailing the state's response. Okay, so if this is the case, then the question must be asked. Were the lockdowns, was the mask mandate effective? No. However, what was effective was keeping the general population in a state of constant fear. Because when this thing first kicked off, they made sure to focus primarily on the death rate, which we all know the fatality rate. Yeah, But, like I said, sheeple were thoroughly convinced that if they got this, then it was an automatic death sentence. Keep generating that, keep circulating it through the media and social media. So now we can focus on cases. And guess what? They can cook those books all day long. As opposed to the death rate, which you would need a body for. But insofar as cases, a stroke of the pen. Yep, they got Charlie 19. So, yeah, you count as a case. Boom. A total of 41 of California's 58 counties are now classified as purple. The tier of Charlie 19 related spread requiring the strictest lockdown guidelines. Just 13 counties were classified purple last week. Oh, wow. I think Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see just how screwy this truly is. We are also considering, full disclosure and a little bit of preview, the notion of a curfew, Newsom said at a press conference. Before you jump in terms of your mindset of whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, we are assessing that as well. Oh, how the sheeple of California are really feeling about all of this. They're going to go right along with it. I tell you, things are truly going off the rails. Newsom said his team is reviewing studies from France, Germany, and Saudi Arabia on the quote-unquote efficiency of their strategies as it relates to curfews. The governor referenced statewide curfews of interest in Massachusetts and Virginia as examples of what Californians could resemble. California officials are still in discussions on whether to implement the curfew and key details about how it would be enforced. Newsom said the curfew restrictions will likely impact, quote-unquote, certain kinds of industry and business activities, as if to continue running the economy straight into the ground. The state's broke as it is. But guess what? As long as the sheeple out here are placated, they simply don't care. We really want the data to bear out, Newsom said. We want the information not to be anecdotal. We really want to take a look at these studies. Newsom said counties with new lockdown tier designations must make quote-unquote entry changes within 24 hours rather than 3 days in order to comply with the state's guidelines. Oh, there you have it, gentlemen. There you have it. Under the quote-unquote purple restriction tier, restaurants, movie theaters, and houses of worships are limited to outdoor service only, and bars are closed entirely. Retail stores can open at 25% capacity with modified operations. Residents in purple counties were advised not to gather indoors with other households. Newsom said he was aware of concerns from local business owners regarding the reimposition of restrictions and said providing financial support for small business was his quote-unquote #1 priority when considering the state's budgetary needs in 2021. Yeah. And I've got a massive bridge in the middle of nowhere to sell you. The governor touted California's state of preparedness to address the uptick in cases. The state has 11 quote-unquote surge facilities that can pop up within 24 to 96 hours and provide additional capacity of about 2,000 hospital beds. Newsom said California's inventory of personal protective equipment includes 180 million N95 masks, 23.9 million face shields, and 12.8 million sample collection kits. The state is conducting 164 100,000 average daily tests for Charlie 19, and results are processed within 24 to 48 hours. Gentlemen, this all has been a setup. But you know what? I'm not going to bust a blood vessel because I knew something like this was coming. It was just a matter of time. And as I stated before, the goalpost was successfully shifted from the death rate to the case rate. But what more needs to be said? Wow, this damn state. This doggone state. Now, I was going to make a separate video about this, but I think this is well worth mentioning here. Let's talk about the recent turn of events, shall we? About 2 months ago, what was the main thing being pumped out by the lamestream media? Civil unrest, right? BLM, Antifa, tearing things up in the streets. Ironic, isn't it? Charlie 19 was not talked about. Now all of a sudden, we got old Sleepy Creepy Joe and Heels Up Harris positioned to take the presidency and vice presidency. Notice something that's not being talked about anymore. What is it? The quote-unquote peaceful protests. Isn't it ironic? And here we are now, back with our old buddy, Charlie 19. And of course, the shifting of the goalposts to cases. Oh yeah, things are really about to get interesting. But what more can we say? It is what it is. Gentlemen, just sit back, make sure you're prepared, make sure you got your popcorn and whatever your drink of choice is, and enjoy the decline. But with that being said, ladies, this especially goes out to you. The power is still metaphorically out. And if these curfews go into place, oh, you can best believe feminism and all of the protections that you think you have from Big Daddy government are going to go out right along with it. And do not be surprised if we see an uptick in hockey masks being put on. Oh, well, it is what it is. That's all I got to say for this one. R.P.M. I am